Indeed, and this seems to be the consistent theme. We've seen a lot of themes actually being met recently. In this case, from last season, last phase, RPG went 1-1 versus HotsLady in the first week, and then 2-0 at them in the second week. Once again, RPGers consistently have been slow starters.
Yeah.
Let's see if that theme continues, whether they're actually going to be able to take the 2-0 again and continue that theme. For now, on the map win rate, it's actually pretty even, if not a tiny bit favored towards HotsLady.
Yeah, if you have two teams that are currently sitting at the bottom of the table face each other, then obviously the map scores are not going to be that overwhelming. But as you said, Tetcher, very, very closely matched. So I don't think any team is going to go into this Sky Temple Battleground and being like, yo, we're the favorites. So it's going to be a pretty interesting start here. Now, we have to highlight the weakness of RPG in this season so far. I think more than any other team except CE, they have struggled in the drafting, don't you think?
Yes, most certainly. The new meta has definitely caught teams like RPG and CE very much off guard. God, I love that mask. The kid, still apparently a little bit ill. I know that feeling. You just can't shake it, but...
You know what? At this point, I'm not even sure if he's still ill. Like, it's been going on for 3 or 4 weeks now, so maybe that's just a thing, you know? Other people are wearing beanies and bandanas.
I think you'll find it's the worst of all diseases that a gamer can have, and that is man flu. That lasts for at least 4 months.
Okay, gotcha. Maybe there is still one, but even if it doesn't, I think it's a cool idea. Like, it definitely sets you apart from other players, makes you more recognizable.
In fact, he's not wearing just the blue mask that he is in the picture, and is wearing a really cool skull face. That's cool. Down with that. So, Ariel was the first ban straight away, and we're going to see a likely response on the Tassadar, vastly reducing the play potential of Valor. I haven't had a huge amount of chance to play Heroes recently due to the fact that my brother has been home, and when there is more than one person on the internet, I physically can't play Heroes because it's like playing a sideshow. But I actually got to play a little bit recently.
Okay.
I played Valor for the first time in a while.
Which build, Tetcher? Which build?
Q build on Battlefield.
Okay, passed. Good.
Yeah. So
just wanted to make sure we have no AA builds here. Okay.
No. It would have been multi-shot on Infernal, Q on Battlefield, etc.
Good boy.
But it was literally a situation of jumping in, and just in the first 8 minutes, I had 4 kills, and it was very much oh, okay, yeah, I get it. In terms of the current ban priority that Valor sees. Like, she's always been strong, but just the sheer empowerment I felt of just being untouchable due to being so mobile and such high damage output early game, it was an incredible feeling.
Gotcha. Cool. I've been playing a lot of Valor myself lately, and
you like to win.
I like to win, A, and B, I really want to practice my ranged assassins. It's by far, like, especially the ranged basic attackers, I want to say. I'm pretty good at mages, but here's like Zul'jin, Vala, they're kind of my kryptonite, my weak spot, and I definitely want to work on this, especially since I'm working so hard getting back to Masters, but... You know,
yeah, I tuned in for your stream yesterday, and you left the game after I joined.
Oh man,
I was very upset. But yes, it was upsetting. You looked pretty tilted after.
Yesterday was a little bit rough. I got disheartened, which normally doesn't happen very often. But when you have this many auto attack Valas in your games, there's only so much you can do.
Says the Insight Karazim.
Hey! My Insight Karazim win rate is through the roofs, man.
I'm sure it was, but you weren't actually able to attack anything, so you were always So that went pretty badly, and the ETC never marched, and many things went wrong in that game. Either way, we're not seeing... Is that an ETC behind my timer? Yes, it is. So we are seeing ETC in the game on the side of RPG, so Wang sticking with his theme, and Saar bringing out the Uther, so there is the potential for the Holy Cow.
Quite literally. I love it. The Holy Cow has been deployed to Battlefield of Eternity, Sky Temple, excuse me, wrong map. I think both teams actually start this draft very solidly. They rely on something that's been proven to be working out, not just in China, but in other regions as well. The Anubarak's still a top-notch warrior, especially when it comes to interrupting people like ETC. However, keep in mind that Wang last week played a lot of stage dive ETC, so depending on what they're going to have as a secondary warrior or a secondary bruiser, there's still the possibility for Wang to not even go mosh pit because he realizes, hey, there's quite a couple of interrupts potentially on the enemy side. So, and truth be told, his timing was impeccable last week.
Yes, it was. He was exceptionally impressive. And just a small bit of information, by the way, I actually looked this up after the Raider play yesterday. There are currently only 2 heroes, excluding Kalthazar, who's not allowed yet, who have not been played in HGC China in the 3 seasons we have covered. Can you guess who they are?
One of them must be Rexar. I can't recall
a
single Rexar. And the other one is hard to guess because China basically played it all. I know they played Nova, for example. Have they played Lily? I'm almost certain they did. Asmodan?
No, played Asmo.
And I have no idea, buddy.
The Butcher! So, yes, China is has the highest hero pick ratio in terms of hero coverage out of all of them, with, I would estimate, due to I not being bothered to do the math, over 90% of the heroes actually being picked at one phase or another.
Wow, look at
Genji
that!
Illidan. Okay.
That's an aggressive statement, Tetra. Can you believe it? Like, there are so many hard engagers now on the side of RPG. ETC can go, and Genji with a Divine Shield is deadly, but so is Illidan, and it's safe to say that Chicken's gonna be on that Illidan, and he knows how to split push. Like, I would say he's the exact opposite of Hugo from the One, who basically excels at team fighting, whereas Chicken is probably the most lethal Illidan in terms of split pushing and getting stuff done elsewhere on the map.
I would agree with that. He is still very exceptional at team fighting, but the amount of game knowledge he has to know how long he can be split pushing for, assuming he is going for this Hunt build, we are seeing a lot of leaning towards Metamorphosis with the Hunt nerfs. So it is very optional, especially with the very team fight heavy comp they already have with ETC and Uther, and they need someone to set up for Genji as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. So now HotsLady, they already have a little bit of lockdown, a little bit of burst damage. Let's see what else they're going for. The Lucio has returned, and they're bringing a Sonya with it. Sonya exceptional against Illidan, so nice choice there.
Isn't it cool how popular Lucio has become again after basically being labeled as one of the most useless supports for quite some time, several weeks and months? But now all of a sudden he's back in the meta because people have figured out, you know what? He's actually not that bad with all those hard engaging heroes. He has the Boop as some sort of counter disengage. He's got awesome AoE protection if you don't interrupt him. So I'm not sure if Lucio is what they need against the stuff that RPG brought to the table, but I think they're just going to bank on his AoE protection capabilities against the Dragon Blade, against the potential Mosh Pit. So I think a well-timed sound barrier is really what HotsLady needs in order to stay alive and swing back the momentum.
Kendrick, you have no idea how much I have missed #1 player killer hero China in the form of Lucio. It's not Nova here, it is Lucio. He chases them down all the way across the map.
Yeah, it's like Lucio was made to be played in China. The way you can play him, how aggressively you can walk inside the... Whoa, that is full commitment here with that Abathur.
And now Illidan is kind of freed up, really, to go for the... He's kind of freed up to go for Metamorphosis build, just the fact they now have that Global Soak.
Yeah. Okay, so they have a couple of globals available potentially. Illidan could go for the Hunt, ETC could go for Stage Dive, and of course Abathur is definitely a global hero no matter what you're trying to accomplish. As you said, there's a lot of good copy targets as well. They could go for double Illidan, double Genji is just as lethal, or maybe if the situation requires it, you can still go for double ETC, because we've seen a lot of double Arthas, double Tyrael pop up as of late, and the power of a double warrior frontline that pops out of nowhere cannot be underestimated.
Very true. Also, we haven't actually mentioned very quickly before we get into the game, 2 new hero announcements. I predicted one of them and got bamboozled by the other. I did predict a new range support. It is going to be Ana who is coming in. Didn't see the Junkrat coming though, so well played Blizzard. Bamboozled me hard.
Not even sure. Did they announce whether those heroes would be released in succession, or is there going to be a gap between those
Via the in-development video, I assume there's going to be a gap because they only showed the Ana stuff in the development video.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they just announced Junkrat to be released at some point in 2017. However, ladies and gentlemen, from Overwatch and Volskaya Foundry, we're going to move on to China as we dive into the first game of the day between RPG and their opponents HotsLady. Let's go. And on the left-hand side, in the blue colors, we see the team known as RPG. And they're represented by Chicken on the Illidan, Wang, his best buddy for life on the Cow and ETC, San, Uther, Infinity on the Abathur, and Loktar plays the Genji. Okay.
Nice. All right. So on the right-hand side, it is going to be HotsLady in the red with 365 on Lucio, again on Rhaegar, Feed B on the Greymane, Kid on Sonya, and Carlo is bringing out the Anubarak.
First time we see, I think that's the first time we see Loktar's Genji, isn't it? I'm quite excited to see what he's capable of doing.
Infinity? I will double check that.
I think for the most part it was Infinity on the Genji, and Loktar normally stuck to the likes of Abathur or any mage assassin in the ranks. He also plays a fantastic Greymane. Me personally, at least, I can't recall him being on the Genji, but since he's one of the most powerful players in terms of raw mechanics, I can't wait what he's going to bring to the table here on that hero.
Your assumption was correct. No Genji, currently played by Loktar.
Cool. So yeah,
22 games on Greymane though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he likes his Greymane. He's also a fantastic Lee Ming player. Basically, any mage that pro me that he can bust out is deadly. Yep. Oh, that owl was coming right at us.
It's coming right for us. But no, not this case. For now, Wang taking control of the watchtower, keeping vision for his team. You can see Chicken hiding in position. He's starting off with the Bastard Assault, which once again leads preference to potentially going for that Metamorphosis build and having the Abathur able to protect it.
Yeah, absolutely true. So we've been seeing a lot of ETC as of late, and I think for the most part, you almost always saw the Prog Rock build, and I can't stress enough how useful that talent is, especially if you have a melee-heavy team like Illidan and Uther right next to you, because those heroes will normally clump up around you during team fights, and as such, if you completed Prog Rock, there's going to be a lot of additional support and healing values, so keep an eye out for Wang, especially after completing the Prog Rock. Now, are we going to see a Power Slide in? Wang, very patient so far, goes for the Power Slide now, but is not brave enough to really commit all the way in, because it takes a lot of damage from that Greymane.
Yeah, and we do see Genji taking his time, finally whittled it down enough, down enough to get the kill. There's the second. And beautiful play. Loktar immensely patient. Yeah. But it's the patience that was able to guarantee him those kills. In the meantime, Sar having difficulties, but he has help in the form of a fancy hat.
Yeah, both players actually very calm and patient here. Wang waited very long until he used that Power Slide, only to use it at the right time, at the right target. And as you said, Loktar using that Swift Strike to execute people. And that's, of course, the dream scenario when you play as a Genji. If you don't have to use it to get away, to get our harm's way, if you can use it to clean off people and then get a cheeky reset. Is that the Dragon's Claw Tetra at level 4? Loktar picks a talent that I've never seen in competitive.
I have seen it in competitive, and it's been relatively successful. It's very much about
it got buffed multiple times in the past.
Indeed, it's very much about the style they're going for. It does pretty decent damage, and is great in clumped up team fights where you're not just trying to execute the backline. Speaking of executing the backline, Illidan is 1v3ing. Sorry, 2v3ing, and Sonya is dying in the mid lane. RPG all over the map in this case.
This is looking mighty good for RPG. Not only were they able to maintain control over the top temple for the most part, but also they're getting some important shots here from those middle temple, and you can see that being reflected in the overall XP count. RPG is pulling ahead quite nicely here. Yeah, for those of you guys who are not familiar with Genji and who may have never picked the Dragon's Claw yourselves, it's basically a talent that can be activated, and if you do so, it's going to unleash a nice amount of AoE damage around Genji. However, you need to charge it up by deflecting damage using your W.
Which is fine. You know, I would honestly quite like to see a just full deflect build from more Genjis. Used to the percentage of damage taken reflected back can get absurd, especially against someone like a Sonya who has very little choice but to do the damage to you. So I don't know. I'd be interested in seeing it a lot more, but we will have to keep an eye on it. He does actually go for the cooldown reduction.
Yeah, I like that.
He's kind of leaning that way.
I like that. Going for the perfect defense here at level 7, the Genji. And I can already see a kind of crazy build here coming in from Genji that focuses on Zanshin at level 20. So you have the AoE damage reflection, and then, oh my goodness, and then the Dragon Claws.
What is the name of the percentage returned damage? That's level 13, I think, or 16.
I'm not even sure if he has anything like it. I think there's only a damage increase.
Reflect. Deflect also deals an additional 33% of the damage block.
Yeah. Okay, I thought you were meaning max HP. I was like,
no.
Okay.
He, as in the damage he's taken. So Sonya's has to deal damage to him with Whirlwind if he just jumps in.
Exactly.
You just stick a hat on him. The amount of AoE damage on this team, Battered Assault, so far, the Deflect talents, Abatha, ETC with Echo Pedal. The AoE damage on this team, which when you're against Lucio, is kind of neat and also potentially counterintuitive. Either way, it's working very well as we see Greymane going down again. 4 kills to 0 at the 5-minute mark.
And you can see Loktar trying to actually deflect a lot of damage here on purpose so he would have his Dragon Claw ready for this temple fight. That was extremely cheeky. But look at Cheeky Chicken here going deep against 2 people that could potentially interrupt him. So I gotta say though, RPG is playing this very, very well. We saw a beautiful kill here once again by Wang. The Greymane cleanse was good, but even that didn't save him from basically biting the dust. Now we see an engage on the Genji. Double stun is good. Deflection is better though.
Yeah, it drops a little bit of damage. There's that Dragon Claw doing a decent amount of damage, dashing out to freedom, keeping himself safe here. But yeah, you're mentioning he's actually blocking a lot of damage. Not only does this stack up the Dragon Claw, it actually pre-stacks for his level 20, if that is what he's going for the extra damage, the AoE. Deflect at later levels that requires you to have deflected a certain amount of damage during the game.
Yeah, I think it's 16,000, so that's a lot.
Baiting us towards that.
Yeah, very true. And what's cool to see here is RPG, they're not insisting on basically fighting over the second temple. They're realizing, hey, you know what? We can soak level 10 elsewhere. We've got Abby taking care of top already. So why don't we just get level 10 and... Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. The hunt goes in.
And the stage dive as well. No escape for Feed B. Down goes Greymane again. 3 out of the 5 kills this game have been on that poor Greymane.
Greymane is not having his best day here, but we can't really blame him too much because look at this team comp. We talked about it during the draft. They're relying on a lot of globals here. Stage dive, the hunt. Even if you're getting, or even if you're staying close to your own fort, you're not safe from this global assault. And we know that RPG has this fantastic communication skills. So Illidan, Chicken, trying to body block the way a little bit, but Nubarek being a little bit too hard to take down. Still lost more than 50% of his HP. Now heroic abilities are ready for HotsLady though. We see the Cocoon, go for the throat, Wrath of the Berserker, and double protection here with the Ancestral Healing and the Sound Barrier. And now, Tetcher, things might look different in future team fights because we have some pretty powerful defensive tools available for HotsLady.
Potentially, but it's very good they had these because right now, looking at RPG's composition, the best reaction for HotsLady is to just kind of give up on Soak, except for anyone except maybe a Nubarak who could maybe survive and engage, and just stick as 4, stick as 5. Because the whole point is RPG are just able to kill them when they're isolated, and yeah, they're going to out-soak them if they group up, so HotsLady need to group up and play hyper-aggressive, as you can see them doing now. Moving on to the enemy side of the map, stealing their Merc camps, they need to start pushing really heavily and make sure that they try and see if they can outpush. They're even going to go for a boss because they can see an effort being made for that top 4, and they will get this. There's nothing RPG can do about it unless they drop ETC on them.
So right now, I think RPG is all about getting value elsewhere on the map. They realize and they know that their opponents, HotsLady, they will take that boss for free. However, I think an early boss around 7-8 minutes in the game is not really that lethal. And look at those guys. They're not stopping anytime soon. They're going straight for the keep. And that reminds me of a game that we had last week, the one versus CE. It was on this battleground too.
And this is a very terrifying draft in terms of end of the game. They don't have Bruiser camps though to try and tank through the keep. But here's HotsLady. They beat back. Saar doesn't have the mobility the rest of the team has. He's going to sacrifice himself, which is fine though. Everyone else is going to be able to escape. It's going to take them a while though, and they really do need to deal with this because oh my god.
I was going to say, if they had lost more than 1 member there, I think that bottom keep would have been almost surely going to fall because we have a boss knocking at the front door. The mule is trying his best, But they also had 2 Siege Giant camps, and they also lose Abathur. Abathur got caught here in the process. HotsLady is stabilizing and coming back swinging, Tetcher.
They are. They're about to hit level 13, which will mean that they are catched up. We do a party mix, by the way, for Lucio, not going for the one time we saw the Sonic Amplifier. This still could lead into an auto-attack build. He goes for, on this level, the can't stop and won't stop, which once again is fine. The only things you actually need for the auto-attack build are up the frequency and the Symphonasia or I can never do that one. Speaking of which, Wang is dying because he's going to stage dive out. Hunts used. Stage
turn
dives
around
in to try and turn around. There's the sound barrier dropped. Dragon Blade though. 1 reset, 2 resets, and Locktar's turning it up, looking for more. There's number 3. Can it be 4? Yes, it can. Why did I ask that?
And who feels right at home here? It's Infinity. If he plays an Abathur who copies the Genji, he's normally the Genji main in the team, right? So he feels right at home. And guess what? He's even a more powerful version of the Genji, so he must be in heaven right now, dealing damage like there was no tomorrow. But overall, that was so patiently played by RPG. They let Wang take a lot of damage, but Wang, you saw how late he used his knockback? He realized reinforcements are on the way, the damage isn't really strong enough just yet, so I can stay here and just chill and wait. What about that cocoon, though? They should really try...
Guys, clear it, clear it. It is Genji.
Okay,
leap
nice.
out. There we go. Gets cleansed for good measure.
Nice.
Unfortunately, now Uther's a little bit out of position. Wang's in position, though. What a nice guy. Clears some space and gets Sar out of there.
What a nice guy indeed. Wang has been turning it up quite a bit on that ETC, I feel like. Not in a way that he's been actively making those plays with a mosh pit, for example, but he was just baiting a lot of those, you know, aggressive plays by HotsLady, only for his teammates to retaliate and make it look good in their favor. So gotta give it to Wang for the most part, but also that Genji plus Divine Shield. I mean, it's just one of the most lethal combos in the game, and if you don't have good disengage, or if you don't retreat from the battle in time, you're gonna pay the blood price for it.
Yeah, okay, Genji not going with the 33% damage return. Instead, he's just going to use that damage from the Dragon Claw and focus instead on the resets from his dash, which are still immensely effective.
True.
HotsLady have been doing a really good job keeping pressure on this bot lane, though, consistently with those Siege Giant camps, so nice job there. And for now, they are staying... Well, I was about to say, for now, they're staying on their own side of the map. A new Bright goes flying for that scenario.
Yeah, it's really mean sometimes. Like, if you're in a noob rank, you can actually use your burrow charge, excuse me, to get out of harm's way. However, if you're a good Illidan, and I speak from experience here, that happened to me multiple times when I played a noob in Hero League. Like, if your opposing Illidan is a good player, he can wait until he uses his dive to go in synchrony with that burrow charge, and he's actually going to leap right after you, and you thought you were safe. No, Illidan is still too sticky, still going to chase you down, and Genji, of course, has enough gap closers himself to basically follow the noob wherever he goes. So, well played by RPG, not giving the Beetle any chance to escape.
Indeed, very well done. You actually saw Sonya go for Mystical Spear. This is very much a talent that's only really taken in the situation of, I need to escape. It is not a talent taken when you believe that you're going to be the ones who are consistently engaging, because if you're taking that talent as a potential engage tool, you're relying on yourself. You're literally saying, I want to be the engager for my team, but I want to miss and lose damage.
Exactly.
And that's how I want to engage.
It's basically a talent that you can take if you're kind of behind and you don't want to risk any further deaths, as you said. But if you're in the driver's seat, if you're the one who are basically setting the pace in the game, then you definitely want to go for something else. Now, Locktar and Chicken here.
No, thank you.
Nicely done.
Please. Here comes Infinity on that Abathur, trying to chase it down.
16.
They're like, oh, we'll just wait this one out. Clone tries to chase in hard. Stage dive. Here's Genji. There goes Genji back in the cocoon as they try to focus onto Rhaegar ETC with huge stuns. Infinity has no health, and he's just a clone. Here comes Locktar back in for the resets. Dragon Claw, huge AoE damage. 365. May just need to turn on the movement speed here to get out. For now, he's doing some good micro, trying to keep Kid alive.
Gets one.
But Kid cannot
Gets two.
survive. And 3.
Oh.
It was too close to his face, but that's going to be the keep, and with 30 seconds, potentially the game.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. RPG just continued to tear HotsLady apart. They got caught by the Illidan. Stage dive was on point, and now it's only the core that separates RPG from the victory here in game number 1. And with all members still being dead from HotsLady, there's only so much one Carlo on the Beetle can do. And the core falls, and it is 1-0 in favor of RPG. Well played, GG.
Very well played by RPG there. Masterclass in global play. Very few mistakes that were actually worth pointing out there. That was just a solid game, well played.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think they really showed us... What was that?
The infinite screen. Because they're showing the screen while the screen is on screen. So you can screen while you screen, while you screen, while you screen, while you screen.
There we go. No, I didn't even pay attention to that, but... Oh man, Tetcher, how happy as a, longtime dedicated RPG fanboy, how happy are you that they came out swinging in Game 1? Very important. Game 1, for the most part, has been the crux of RPG. Oftentimes, they went in with a very experimental, wonky draft, but I think this time they showed up with everything they wanted to execute and everything they felt so comfortable at.